Well, hey there. Welcome to day 25 already of No Nonsense November. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here from the Get Up and Go Challenge. Just a little heads up, we are doing our fifth and final free 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge starting December 1st, just in a few days already, through December 31st. Pop in every day, get a quick lesson on the SOAP framework and how you can be guaranteed to have better results after any change or any challenge than before you experience that challenge by going through this particular free 30-day challenge. So December 1st through 31st, right here, Get Up and Go Challenge page. Shameless plug, I guess, but it's free, so is it a plug or is it something that can really help you? Something that's really helped me. And I've got another new strategy, another new purpose and thing I'm going to do as I go through the challenge right along with you. But this interim month between Challenge 4, which was in October, and Challenge 5, which is going to be in December, one of my friends suggested that I do a tool a day. So I've brainstormed. I love brainstorming. One of my favorite tools, by the way, which we have not talked about really, but we'll talk about it in the challenge. Brainstorming is such a powerful tool, and everyone can do it, and so few people do. It's like writing down your goals. Everyone can do it, but so few people do. Well, today is one of my nerdy engineer favorite of all time tools and topics. It is, I call it 3APR. 3 A's for 3 different words that start with A, and PR meaning process review. We're going to talk about and review. We're going to audit, do audibles, which is a new word that I learned since I came online. I've never heard it called audibles. To me, it's always been audits from my nerdy engineering audit quality control life. And appraisals, not performance appraisals, personal processes. What we do, we're going to review our personal processes, not our performance, not the results. When we have a performance review, I can't remember if we've talked about those or not as a tool, but they're a great tool as well. If done right, I was going to say when done right and appropriately, they're a fantastic tool to help us continuously improve and grow. When done wrong, they will shut us down faster than almost anything. What shuts us down faster than almost anything? Rejection, fear, criticism, judgment of other people, right? Those things will shut us down. So we're not talking about those kinds of appraisals or reviews right now. We're talking about auditing and looking at the things that we do, the processes that we follow, and periodically doing that so that we can make sure that we are on a path of continuous improvement, that we're going to get the results that we want out of the systems and the processes and the habits and the rituals and the things that we put in place. So when do we do this? When should we do an audit of what we're doing? When should we do an audible or an appraisal? Okay, let's talk about the difference. Now, I always thought they were the same thing. Appraisals, audits, same kind of thing. They're all a review and a questioning and a looking at the details of how things are going, what you're doing, and if they're still working and getting you the results that you want. We can do performance reviews of people. Those are our personal appraisals and performance reviews or feedback sessions. And we can do the systems and the processes and the habits that we have that we put in place to help us get a result. Guess what? 90% of the problems and the challenges and the places things break down in our businesses and in our lives are because of process issues, not because of who we are as human beings and people, but because a system or a process or a way that we're doing something is broken, or it isn't optimized, or it isn't designed to get us the result we want. So types of audits and appraisals and audibles are funnel audits, marketing audits, branding audits. These are all online things I've learned to do. Challenge audits, social media audits, things like that. Other types of audits are, from my old world, quality audits, quality system audits, HACCP audits, hazard analysis critical control points audits, USDA audits, FDA audits, OSHA audits, IRS audits. How many of y'all have had an IRS audit? Not fun, right? I've been through 2 in my lifetime. Now I'm old, so it's not unusual that I've been through 2, but I've been through 2. Came out great both times, by the way, because I don't cheat. You don't have to cheat to get what you want and to be successful in life. So IRS audits, many people are familiar with those. Kosher audits, organic audits, Department of Agriculture audits. I was obviously in the food industry, so I've had a lot. AIB American Institute of Bakery. Different industries have different industry audits. I'm sure there's lots of different types of financial audits in the financial industry. That's not an industry I've really been a part of ever, so I don't know, but I guarantee there's a whole lot of auditing that goes on in the financial sector. So those are just some ideas of audits. Now, when do you want to do one? You want to do an audit of a process anytime there's a change in the process. So I come from a world of manufacturing where there's lots of processes and procedures and systems in place. And whenever there's a change in the process, we would re-examine and we would reread and we would audit and ask questions and verify that the process was still working. So say in my Italian food business, we're making cheese ravioli. We have a process for making cheese ravioli. Then say that my normal cheese supplier goes out of business because this happened, or my egg supplier dies and goes out of business, and I need to get a new supply of that raw material. Well, I go through the process, because there's a process for that, of finding a new supplier, a new vendor. We get the new product in, and do we just do business as usual? No, we have to reevaluate and re-look at our entire process of making ravioli. We have to make sure that the new eggs or the new cheese don't alter the end product quality in any way, shape, or form. Because guess what? There's variability in egg suppliers. There's variability in cheese suppliers. There's variability in different cheese manufacturers. There's variability in everything. But even those things that you wouldn't think would matter a lot. So every time we had a product change, a supplier change, an environmental change, equipment change on the line, we would reevaluate and re-examine our process, and we would make sure that it was still appropriate for what we were doing. Or if it had to be changed and tweaked, we'd go through our process of changing and tweaking our process and documenting that we had done that to make sure that we're continually improving and growing and getting the end result that we wanted for our customers. So whenever there's a process change of any sort, for whatever reason, any source, I would imagine, and I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that a whole lot of people have gone through and re-examined a lot of their processes and procedures given COVID-19. You know, if your business is shut down and things have changed, or you've had to change and create whole new areas of your business, say you've never done online or phone orders or curbside pickup before, you have to come up with a process of doing that, and then you have to continually review and tweak that process to make sure that it's getting you the end result that you want. So when we do it, whenever there's a process change or whenever there's a change, and if there hasn't been a change for a long time, in our business, we would always review our processes annually. So once a year, no matter what, we would, if nothing had changed, if we had the same suppliers, the same environment, the same everything throughout an entire year, on the 1 year mark of and the anniversary of that particular process or procedure, it would automatically come up for review and assessment to make sure that it's still valid and still in place. Now, do we have processes and procedures that ran for years without a change? Absolutely, positively, especially with things like our HACCP plan and our USDA plan and our systems and our recordings of temperatures and things. We had processes and procedures that were the same for over, for decades, a couple of decades, but we reviewed them at least annually. Just like our SSOPs, which are standard operating procedures, even if they didn't change, like how we cleaned and how we did things, which I'm sure a lot of people had those changes this year, we would at least review those annually and sign off and verify that they were still valid every single year. So either when there's a change or on some frequency or basis. Sometimes if you're regulated by government agencies, they will dictate that frequency, but otherwise you can always do it more often than is dictated by a regulatory agency. And we always did it more often. We always did what was best for us and our business and our customers. And that was always more than any government agency would require. Why? Because in the food business, you don't get to make any mistakes. You are feeding people and you are making sure that they are safe. And our guideline was always, if we wouldn't do it for our family, if we wouldn't do it for ourselves, we're certainly never going to do it for anyone else. And I think that was a great guideline for us throughout the organization. Why do we want to do a periodic or an audit, an audible, or a review? Why do we want to do that? Well, we want to make sure, number one, that our processes and systems are working. Usually when there's a mistake or a quality issue or a challenge that comes out of any kind of industry or organization or company, somebody knew about it. And that's a bold statement, but a human being always knows when something breaks down. They might not say it or report it for all kinds of reasons, but very few things get through an entire system, especially some of these complicated, well thought out organizational systems. Very few things without a human being knowing that something didn't get done or monitored, the process didn't get followed exactly, or and they just let it go. I mean, and we could have a whole day discussion about that and about data integrity and everything else. We could really go into depth about that, but it's not that important to no nonsense November. So we want to do it to verify and make sure that we're doing the things that give us the results that we want in our personal life and in our businesses, right? In our business life, or in our jobs, or in our careers, or in our families, right? We can have, and we should have, periodic process reviews for what our family is doing, right? Not who they are as humans, but the things that we do. A periodic process review for an audit of the things that you do with your family. Now, people are doing a lot more things with their family these days than they have in previous years, but what from this COVID experience do we want to take with us? What benefits have we found? What cool things have we been doing with our family that we want to continue to do more of, even as the world opens up again? Which it will. Don't worry, it will. It might be painful now. It is, especially with Thanksgiving coming up and the holidays and all the shutdowns and all the new COVID cases and things. People are freaking out, but this too shall pass, like everything. We'll get through it all. So how often, again, you should do this? I actually, in my weekly planner, have a process built in where I automatically ask myself questions about what I am doing. What am I going to do? I plan out what I'm going to do, then I do it, or I don't do it, and I have to explain why I didn't do it to myself so I remember. And then I look for the positives, the great things that happened during the week, and then I take a few minutes to review the lessons that I learned during the week. What did I screw up? What mistakes did I make? And I document that in my planner. So I have a sliding scale of are the things I'm doing. Am I doing what I say I'm going to do? And I'm planning ahead, and then am I committing to and making sure I meet my commitments? And then what are the results of those actions, those physical things that I'm doing to move me toward my goals and objectives every single week? If I wait till the last week of the year to assess how I'm doing toward moving toward my goals for the year, it's a little too late. That's why I like to break it down and do a little bit every single week. If you don't know where to start with something like this, if you've never done an audit, never looked at a process, never even thought about process review, just ask. Model other people. There are so many ways to find more information on this, but if you're struggling, just ask me and I'll set you in the right direction. I've been doing literally audits. I did so many audits. I don't even know how many. I've done literally thousands of audits in my career, but as part of my corporate career, I did hundreds and hundreds of audits of huge, household name businesses and organizations and divisions in those businesses. So lots of ways to find audit ideas and what to do. And you want to, again, keep it as simple as possible to get you the results and the effect that you want. A lot of the systems that I learned in and worked in and have used for years are extremely complicated. In my opinion, way overcomplicated and very redundant to actually check not only the processes, but to verify that the auditor isn't having any prejudice or missing things, right? By asking it 5 different ways, you're pretty much guaranteed statistically that any key thing in an audit is going to be caught and going to be covered. So there's reasons that they do it. I find them super redundant because I'm a keep it simple, get her done person, but to each their own. That's it. That's all I have for you today. Have an absolutely amazing day. How might you use audits, audibles, appraisals, looking at your processes, process review, the things that you do, reviewing and asking questions about the things that you do to make your life better? That's the biggest part of this day. That's it. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with another No Nonsense November tool of the day.